Hello and welcome to the Art Battle Phoenix City Championship. This event will be taking place online. We have 8 incredible artists who have earned their way to the Phoenix City Championships tonight, and they will be painting a 30-minute piece. And at the end of their 30-minute piece, one will be crowned based on your votes, and they will go to the U.S. National Championship happening on April 2nd in Wichita Falls, Texas. So coming up super soon. And because this is an online event, it's extra important for you guys to vote. And we will be beginning this in just one moment. My name is Morgan Booth, and I am here with Art Battle co-founder Simon Plaschkes.
Hey Morgan, I am loving these online championships. I mean, of course, it's the real deal with people in the room, the sweat pouring down, the smell of acrylic paint in the air is a wonderful thing. But it's also pretty cool to be able to do this in the comfort of our own homes and still pick the champion, the Phoenix City champion, who will head to the national championship, just as you said. So here we are. It'll work either way.
And we get to sneak peek some of these artist studios. That's my favorite part of the online series.
You see the paintings in the background, and and you get. They have a much broader array of tools. Anything they need, it should be great. We have 8 artists tonight. That's a big one for a single round. We're doing only one round tonight. Normally, we would have 3 rounds in an art battle. You'd have 2 opening rounds and a final round, but this is one shot. So, you guys got to pick, vote for the best. Some of you are going to be here to vote for friends, but, there's a responsibility here to vote for the best painting. So I hope that's what you do.
And of course, voting is confidential too. So
voting is confidential. That's true.
All right, let's get into it.
All right. The Phoenix City Championship.
Ba, 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 ba.
Okay,
Natalie Parker. Ooh, and she's starting on a textured canvas too, which I like.
What do you see? Oh, I see. This might be a bit of a reuse, or she's got a.
I think it's a reuse situation, cool. But I dig it.
But in a nice way.
Yeah, in an excellent way. A lot of artists work well with texture, and the way that this paint is going on already is I'm really enjoying just watching it be super washy, but also you're still getting the impression of so many brush strokes. So that's an interesting application.
I love this brush. That's a great brush. That's a real winner.
Ooh, some kind of contour, almost like contour drawing here. Very gestural.
Fantastic. Only a few seconds with Barbara Gomez here.
And you're already, you see the figure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to get one of these, probably a profile. Well, maybe not. Maybe looking straight on. But, portrait's very, very popular, especially at this stage of the game. It's easy to identify and connect with, especially that portrait looking right at you.
Barbara is a really special case for portrait painting as well. She's an excellent portrait painter. So cannot wait to see where that goes.
All right, Sasha Crockett coming in. I love this initial bit of a turquoise blue going on there.
Yeah, just
top down, maybe going into a landscape.
And a bit of a gradient going there as well.
Yes.
Just taking her time, getting set up. Especially with these 30-minute rounds, artists feel, I think, like it's a little bit more luxurious. They can take more time getting set up, which I think yields a better piece.
Whoa, speaking of getting right into it and not taking time to get set up, we have Steve Caballero.
Yeah, knocking in that fuchsia there. It's like a
Love it.
fuchsia
Love it.
magenta goodness.
Makes me think of Megan Claire Kehoe.
Yeah,
That's her color.
and the whole, it looks like his whole studio is shaking with the way that this application is so strong.
And I think this is a pretty big painting too. I don't know if we have a size stats on this, but it's Steve's not a small guy, so this is a big painting.
Okay, and Ray, good luck. I'm such a fan of Ray's. I had the pleasure of doing the commentary for the stream when he won in January, and he's just an incredible artist to watch.
I mean, these colors he's picked right off the bat are so good. This might be my favorite color of blue. Oh, really great.
Yeah, the sienna and then kind of that indigo going on, and it's completely abstracted right now too, so we have no idea what it's gonna be yet, but it's still interesting.
Wow. All right, Ezmeralda Sanchez, and on with the tape. Well, tape's a real pro move, because of course the the removal of the tape at the end of it can be quite striking and give you those nice crisp lines left over. So it'd be interesting to see what she, creates with the tape.
Oh yeah, the tape can be give us that like super satisfying tape pull, or it can break your heart with paint having gotten under it.
Because you get the bleed under it. Yeah. But this is unusual, actually. She seems to be creating some kind of well, I'll have to come back to that. But she's creating something with the tape rather than just creating borders, which is the most common.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like building something. Okay, Brian. So Brian is someone that I also really, really love to watch. He describes himself as an illustrator and painter, but he's so observational. He has such an incredible ability to just really take on whatever person, place, or thing is in his environment, and he can really execute that very well. There's such a great energy of immediacy to Brian's pieces.
I can't believe how much this technique of the initial dots that were put out there and then immediately covering that whole canvas with the sketch right off the bat. Really impressive.
Yeah, so fast.
So fast. Wow.
I should be used to fast painting by now, right?
Well, there's fast painting and there's fast painting. Because, this is, Adam's, working really hard here and getting some great coverage, but the amount of detail that we're able to see on the previous piece in that time is incredible. It's not to say that we're not going to see some something magical right here as well.
And this the directionality choice from Adam too, I think is I feel like that's going to be a sky of some sort. Often you see artists going in on the diagonal when they're painting a sky because you get kind of a sense of wind once they start moving the colors into each other. But that's,
oh my gosh, look at
early thoughts.
Look at this. This is so great. They're all here together and yet apart. This is very COVID.
This is amazing because
it is amazing.
So at Art Battle, you always are, even if you're in the room, you can see one or two pieces at a time as you're going around the easels. This is an experience that I've never had. Seeing an 8 artist round all at once. So I was just bouncing everywhere.
Wow, it's blowing my mind. Okay, and here we are back on Natalie's piece. This is that textured canvas we saw in the beginning. Great background work. Very, very painterly. Some serious brush work. She's cleaning that brush that I was saying. I really like that brush. Mm-hmm. That's a big sort of domed but flat brush. You can get a lot of paint in that. And so obviously it's a favorite of hers because she's taking the time to do a little bit of cleaning right here.
And this is almost like inky and oily. It's got a richness to it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Barbara.
Well, you can see from sort of the this like shoulder round that's going there. This is a very life drawing, practiced, experienced work from Barbara here. No doubt she is going to meter out her time very, very carefully. And I think we're going to see a constant slow progression towards quite a beautiful portrait out of Barbara here.
And something that's interesting is it's a little bit washy. Her technique, the way she's applying it, it's not going on opaque. So I think there's going to be a lot of build there. And
Yes.
Sasha is still building that wash that she was starting up at the top, and we have this beautiful gradient of the cerulean going into a gray.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna end up seeing some kind of a landscape out of this, and I love a good landscape, especially a bit abstracted and heavy on the gradient. And here we go, another one to compare it to. Steve's painting here.
Steve is so fun to watch. Look at how
Yeah,
we can only see his hand, but look at how aggressively he's applying this.
yes, you can imagine his whole body dancing around doing this, and I appreciate the because this has been a drip heavy. You may recall from the previous time we were looking, this has been a drip heavy work, but because he's going top down, the drips all get erased. So it's pretty neat actually, and I think it works really well for him.
And here we are back with Ray, and he's doing a piece that leans very close to his studio work, where he's doing these portraits of Navajo chiefs and really taking advantage of a dark and a light side, and just uses that to express such a beautiful emotion.
Fantastic, a bit of a night and day thing going on here. Esmeralda Sanchez still on the tape. Interesting.
I'm so
Interesting.
curious.
Yeah, so very precise, very careful tape work. She's pressing down the edges very nicely, so I don't think we're going to see a lot of spillover, which can often be a problem. Oh wow! Look at this from Brian. Almost watercolory with how thin that is, but not too many drips.
And this kind of gladiatorial stance from the figure.
Yeah, wow, that's going to be something.
Really, Adam really making use of his earlier directional approach, just kind of feathering things in now.
I really like how this painting is kind of on an angle. It's, all of the brushstrokes have been sort of on the diagonal here, and I think that's really working, and it's a lot of fun, actually.
And Natalie, I think we're starting to see a portrait emerge. And this is a real challenge, working on this dark ground with more dark.
Yeah, I think that she's buying her time a little to let that dry, so that we can bring in some lighter colors. Because obviously like the dark on dark, if that bleeds a bit or if it moves around a bit, it's not that big a deal. So I bet you we see some light color pops from Natalie later in this game.
Yeah, bringing in that contrast, and it looks like the character has kind of a luscious beard going on, so can't wait for that. I'm hoping it's red. That's what we want.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, look at that gorgeous yellow that Barbara has going on, that she's got right up against that beautiful violet.
I'm surprised she's already hitting the background. Usually that's something we see sort of a little bit later in the game, but maybe again she's sort of buying her time a little for some drying, especially in the face, as I imagine she's going to want to put a little more detail in there.
And Barbara, her studio work is really super layered, a lot of layering and textural techniques. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's biding her time to let different elements dry so that she can layer over top of them. Oh, we're getting some paint from Ezmeralda.
White paint.
You got a little rosy hue.
Little pink in there. Wow, and Steve is furiously creating here. That's some great energy. I mean, that's the art battle energy. You can't get that from just seeing the finished work. I mean, sometimes you get a hint of it, but here it is. It's just what you would expect. He's working hard and working fast. We have this at real time, folks. This has not been sped up.
And I'm wondering is it a rag that he's using to smash that on there?
I don't know. We'll have to get a second look there.
Okay, Brian Tibke. This is, I'm so used to the immediate payoff of figures having their faces done first, that
Yes.
this piece is really drawing me in that it's not giving me that satisfaction. So it's really allowing itself to still be quite mysterious.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's so mysterious. I think we see a hand there. Um, I think this has got a bit of an anime robot to it. I have to
Yeah.
see, but it's very blocky, almost like a football player. But there's a bit of robot to it. I think. Let's see what happens there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out whether or not it was robot or sports figure. Oh, and check out Adam with I did not anticipate this turning into a portrait. Seeing him sketching in the proportions of the face and starting with the highlights, which is a cool technique.
Wow, that is. And that's very compatible with what's going on in the background because obviously there's still a bit of wet paint back there. So again, I think all of these artists are having very interesting strategies around, even on this 30-minute painting, around managing managing the wet dry and managing the layers of the painting and how they may or may not interact with each other as the paint dries.
And Natalie Parker's technique is really reading Old Master to me with the way that she's building from dark, and then when we were seeing with Adam, he's building from light. So I love seeing all these different approaches.
Very cool.
This purple hair and the way that it's dripping everywhere is just getting me from Barbara.
And it reminds me of from our Southeast Online, Adonis's work in both of those rounds. Very, very similar purple hair situation. So that's pretty cool. I wonder if he won, of course. It'd be interesting to see if they end up meeting in the at the national championships next week. I can't believe it's only next week.
So soon. So once again, for everybody out there watching, it's super important for you guys to vote at artbattle.com/vote, because the artist that wins this round with only 18-ish minutes left will be going to the Nationals.
Yep, we're gonna call them right after the show and say, please book your ticket. You're headed to Wichita Falls. All of you, of course, are welcome as well. Wichita Falls is a great community. You can fly into Dallas, not too far from, for those of you who are watching from Phoenix.
Oh, the highlight there that Ray has going on.
Well, I think that the careful timing is paying off for Ezmeralda. I mean, that's a really beautiful and artful flower that we see there.
I want more. I'm feeling really greedy with this painting now. I'm like, okay.
She just has to do a dozen more of those.
Yeah. She's, but again, that's the battle technique. Sometimes you got to leave them wanting more.
Yes, that's right. As long as you deliver immediately after. Okay, wow, this is exciting.
It's so strange, and I love it for that.
Yeah, the eyes make me think there's a bit of a goggle situation going on. Wow, Adam, it's such a jump from where he initially started, because this is a very refined portrait. Look at those very, very careful, the careful shading and blending that's already been in, and it's shading and blending that's actually interacting with the background.
Yeah, and I love that he's using
move.
his finger in there too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Natalie's, this is great from Natalie. I love how this just sort of keeps building from dark to light, which is a very unusual approach.
And it's really providing it this quality of just emerging. Like, you're really getting the sense of it being something that's coming to life. Like a light source is being shone on this dark
like
portrait.
The figure was sleeping, and it's just sort of coming awake, and the eyes are about to open. Very cool.
And from Sasha here,
yeah,
we're now getting a figure in this kind of almost surreal landscape.
Yes, I love the color chosen for the figure there.
Wow, so into Steve's piece. It's so vibrant.
And the sense of perspective it's just absolute. I mean, for me, it's just come out of nowhere. I mean, this was, this is an exciting painting, exciting for the colors, exciting for the way he delivered it. But the perspective, it's just, pop. This is, we've got, 3 or 4 defined layers of this, and he's got a fair bit of time left to polish this off. So, wow, really impressive.
Yeah, the foreground emphasis here is really involving you in the painting. You almost feel like you're like lying on your stomach looking at the desert.
Yes, a great desert scene. Really, really nice. You feel that you're there.
Yeah, this kind of steampunk energy from Brian.
It's a little bit Dragon 76, isn't it? A
It
totally different
is.
technique for delivering it, but kind of this, modern, this future punk. Is this a character that we don't recognize? If anybody in the comments, we're watching here on the YouTube comments, if anybody recognizes this figure that Brian's up to, we'd love to hear it.
And look at the way that the knee comes forward so much. Like the foreshortening here is really great.
Very much so.
And again, enjoying seeing Adam with this very careful technique and application with the brush, but then not being afraid to use his finger to blend the paint. And that can be a really great technique because you're using your body heat to warm the paint so that it moves more easily.
Oh wow, I never thought of that from a temperature perspective. Really, that's quite cool. Or warm.
Ooh, I love the way that Barbara is chipping in those highlights now.
Hmm.
Oh, and we're getting some cactus flowers from Steve. And
Wow,
look how refined Ray's portrait is.
very nice. That color selection from Ray has done so nicely all through this. He's delivered at every point in this painting. Really impressive. So we've got four, depending on if you count Brian's, five portraits here, and a couple of landscapes. And I'm still not sure what Esmeralda is up to, but I think that she's going to find a way to wow us any minute now.
I think so too. I think there's a lot of strategy there. Esmeralda is most often a ceramicist artist
Oh,
and is really excited about process. So I think that we're seeing that here in that careful processing of this piece. Wow, it's so wonderful to be able to get such a sense of life from Natalie's portrait character here, and its eyes are closed, so you're not necessarily getting that easy source of connection, but it's still very lively.
yeah. I wonder what she's going to do with that hair. I mean, there's a 12 minutes remaining, but there's only 12 minutes remaining.
This hair is just doing everything for me. The way that it's containing so many different textures because she's drawn into it as well, these kind of waves, and it's showing wash and drip, and it's just a great energetic source.
Very cool. Quite beautiful. And I really appreciate the way that the drips are coming down from the hair. It really makes it a painting, and you feel the way that it was constructed. And that's a lot of fun.
I'm getting like a sense of loneliness from Sasha's painting here. The way
I'm
that the
getting a
figure
rocket launch.
a rocket launch.
No, I'm kidding. Loneliness is much more appropriate. Is it? It's really great. I wish we could get in a little tighter there. That's a lot of fun. Is Steve done?
He could be.
He's sitting back having a beer. Oh no, here he is. He's back.
And in
Okay.
with the brush now.
Yes. It's such a pleasure to watch him work.
Yeah, the energetic quality of him just in his studio,
Hmm.
even because I think I think that can't be ignored either. That there's a unique energy for any kind of performance painting, and especially when you're in your own studio, you're even more comfortable. So we're really watching him just like go for it.
Wow. The resolution on this portrait is second to none.
Yeah, that really careful highlight work. The contrast here is incredible. And to throw back to what you were saying about the color choices, I think that this sienna that Ray chose was an excellent mid-tone to build into the highlights, and then his shadows as well. A lot of versatility between these two colors, and he's still getting that harmony at the same time.
So tough to execute a balanced image across these extreme differences in luminosity, and he's doing it. Really, really impressive.
Okay, we're up against the tape now with Ezmeralda.
Okay, great. So we've got a couple of flowers and up against the tape. So maybe we're going to get a something structural here, like a tables, or it's so funny. I'm trying to guess what she would need those block shapes for. I guess we'll see.
I know she's capturing me with her performance in that I'm just like, tell me what the tape is for. Which is a great audience tactic.
It's smart. It's smart. You got to think about that. Oh, Brian.
This is excellent. Okay, so I think that I'm getting that those weren't goggles. I think that this is a hand on the crest of a hat and that his face is obscured. Maybe? Or maybe it is a robot. What do you guys think?
I think it's a man in an exoskeleton suit sort of thing.
Oh,
this is a real person, but they're covered in high-tech armor. Although I'm seeing it's definitely they're covered in armor, but as this resolution comes in, it seems a little less high-tech than I think we originally anticipated. Wow. Adam, thank you.
Yeah.
Great approach.
Is it going to be Frida? As soon as the first unibrow stroke was applied, I was like, yes, I know.
That's right. He's about one stroke away from a pure Frida there. Certainly an homage, if not direct.
Yeah, and it'll be great to see the way that he brings the hair in, and I think that red over top is going to be incorporated into the hair as flowers. Is Sasha's figure balancing on this branch? That's kind of the body language that I'm getting there.
I don't know. It's whimsical. The hair, it's so funny. The hair looks very, going out for prom, going out for an occasion, and the scene is so naturistic. Is that a snake?
I'm not sure. I'm feeling like it's kind of like a traditional garb situation. Oh, check out the orange that Barbara's got going on that shoulder. The way that she just popped that in is really bringing the shoulder forward. Something cool about painting and art in general is that foreshortening is a challenge, and figuring out how to bring parts of a figure forward in space is always a challenge, or in the spatial perception of the viewer, and often just placing some bright color and a bright contrasting color can do that, and she just did that with the shoulder, really brought it forward.
Yeah, really nice. It makes you feel a part of the larger room that you're in, because it's reflected, right? So whatever that orange is coming from, it's coming from where we are, from our perspective. So it really does a lot to fill it out in the 3D space.
Yeah, absolutely. The peacefulness from Natalie's figure. Okay, we've got branches across the tape. The tape is being engaged. I repeat, the tape is being engaged.
Okay, maybe she's just gonna leave it. There's no rule against leaving the tape.
I've never seen that. That's even more guesswork for me
Is there
from
a rule against
Ezmeralda.
leaving the tape? I feel like it's a bit mixed media then, but I don't know. We're not gonna call the rule book up right now. We're gonna see what Ezmeralda is gonna deliver.
Look at how good of a job Steve has done with creating this sense of distance with such a warm palette.
It keeps going. It keeps going. He's got, I don't know how many layers are in there now, but it is, there is a path that you could walk from the front of this painting to the back of this painting. Yes, it's only, a 16th of an inch thick, but it feels like a mile. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
And his speed, and he hasn't slowed down at all. He's still operating at the same clip that he was at the beginning. I think he's just doing a lot more careful color work off screen when he is off screen.
This is reminding me a bit of Saul's piece in Chicago.
Yes. Very, very similar palette. This is a little... it's a little emotionally lighter somehow.
Yeah.
That Saul's piece felt very, very heavy, and it won, and it resonated with the people. But this has a lot of the same energy, but it feels to me more optimistic.
Yeah, I think they kind of exist in the same world. We should have our Battle Fantasy League, and then we can pit artists against each other. And we I want to see Steve and Saul paint against each other. Okay, Adam really has done a lot to realize this portrait very, very quickly. Only a few minutes left. Big reminder to everybody out there, artbattle.com/vote. You guys will pick the single artist out of these 8 that will make it to the U.S. National Championship coming up so soon on April 2nd in Wichita Falls.
And voting is open. So if you have already registered to vote, you have your voting link right in there. You just click that link, find the artist that you like, expand that image, and click vote. And if you have not yet registered to vote, it's very easy to do. We do it by phone number, so we can be sure it's just one person, one vote. You can head over to artbattle.com/vote, put in your name and phone number, and we will send you that link. Be sure to register for the Phoenix show, not the Vancouver show, which is starting right now.
I feel so engaged with Brian's piece. I just feel really involved in it.
It's very powerful. I think I'm starting to be drawn to the way that the figure is engaged with their own hand. It's like this is sort of a robotic. It's so playful, though. It's definitely a human covered in armor rather than a pure robot, I think, although the left arm there makes me feel like we can see inside that arm. But it's such a human expression to be sort of examining one's own hand. Very, very cool.
Absolutely a great observation. This kind of expressive gesture of humanity being juxtaposed with the robotic, hyper-tech nature of the garb.
I'm so glad that Natalie was able to bring in, she was always going to do it, but the way that she's finished off the hair there is really fantastic. I feel like that the title of that might be, God Sleeps.
Yeah, and the mastery of contrast is particularly evident in that piece. And we can't forget that she was working from a totally dark background, so really impressed with that execution.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like some cherry tree blossoms from Sasha, which is maybe speaking to Ezmeralda.
I think that you were right about you were talking about traditional garb. I think that, it brings an Asian Japanese piece into this because of the cherry blossom connection. That may be a factor there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the careful highlight work from Ray.
And don't forget, all of these paintings are available for auction as well. The auction will be running for 24 hours from today, and they no doubt are going to go for unbelievable prices. Truly, they should go for more than they will, I'm sure, because of the online nature of this event, and people aren't there to take them home directly tonight. But you should bid. We will work with the artists to ship them directly to you. Or if you're local, we can have them picked up. But these are incredible deals, and you should absolutely get in there. And after you've voted, take the opportunity to bid.
Yeah, some gorgeous pieces here that I wouldn't mind having. I know that I could just stare at this Brian Tibke piece endlessly and still be finding new elements and interests.
All right, and we are seeing the votes coming in. We've got quite a few guests registered for an online show, but we have under 50% voted so far. So do get those votes in, and as soon as we have a clear winner, we will announce that winner right here to you. We have, oh my, the voting is very close. The top 4 artists are within 4 votes of each other right now. So
wow.
Every vote really does count. Don't think that it doesn't. Now's the time.
Yeah, it's an important job picking who's gonna represent the Phoenix City region in nationals. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. So what do you think of Steve's painting here?
I love it so much. The way that he was able to achieve that level of distance, the performance aspect of it, I really enjoyed. The careful highlighting work in the foreground here, it's fantastic. I dig it.
I do too. I cannot believe how much the depth is portrayed. And obviously the color choice is really fantastic as well. Well, there you go. You get a much clearer picture of what Sasha was up to there.
Yeah, we were kind of having some difficulty with
from the camera angle there, but this is lovely. This is really great. It's definitely a Japanese Chinese flower blossom scene, and it's fun. This is nice. This is a young lady out for a walk, and I think she's really enjoying herself.
And I feel like I'm still almost getting that the sense that the figure is like balancing, maybe, but that could just be me.
Okay, bouncing on the lower branch there.
Yeah, that's just my impression.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
This is awesome.
It really is.
The texture from the feathers of this headdress in that sienna.
Really incredible. Not a brush stroke wasted. The light and the dark. It's very difficult to achieve this. If you're not a painter, just this same balance on the left and the right with 2 totally different sets. You almost have to come at it from an opposite perspective, light to dark and dark to light. And Ray has really done it here. Really great work.
And that sweet catch light in the eyes too.
Yes. Catch light. Nice. Good eye, Morgan.
It's kind of the finishing piece, a catch light. Oh yes, from Natalie. Just such careful mastery of contrast here. Yeah.
Beautiful. You were talking about this being an old master style painting. I can't believe. Oh, do you know what it is? It's the texture. You were talking about that she started with a textured canvas. I'm pretty sure that some of this texture we see running through the eye, and just on that cheek there. I think that's sort of the initial gesso, or potentially even something from a previous painting under there. It makes it look so much like sort of the cracked plaster that's been restored, on some Roman church.
Yeah, it's
Very,
really
very
adding
cool.
to that kind of aged quality.
Yeah, great.
And once again, artbattle.com/vote.
Yeah, the votes are still in, but it's we're not ready to announce the winner yet, although we will any moment now. We'll get through the rest of these. Wow. Okay. Adam Mendoza. I mean, this is great, and I think it's a really I really appreciate how this painting was created. The fact that so much work was done underneath, and it's still coming through, right? I mean, a lot of that face tone, that is the background is sort of still there, but the way that the line work came in later, it's been done such an effective job of segmenting the piece. This is a very powerful portrait.
Yeah, the way that that the background is allowed to be the highlights in the hair, I think is really doing it for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
Great work also from Barbara here.
Yeah,
This is really nice to see it in this. Oh, look at the final layer of this really, really dark purple liquid gone on there.
so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, this piece has so many elements to it.
Holy moly! Look at
That's
this.
so cool.
This is so cool. If Brian makes it in, this is really, really, for those of you who don't know, Dragon76, who's our current national champion, it's not the same, but it's a bit of the same sort of life outlook, sort of, cool robot, like dirty robot future tech. And so it would be very interesting to see these two up against each other. Brian would have tough competition in Dragon, of course.
Yeah, what a powerful piece.
Wow. Well, look, I'm looking at the voting here, and for those of you still with us, the votes are 4 votes separate the first place and second place.
No way.
So, yeah.
Guys,
so don't
go pull your mom.
go vote if you're still. I mean, we can
get
only
your
wait a couple
roommate.
more seconds. We have to announce the winner. We're going on. We're going on to the Vancouver show, which has already started here, and we're going to cut to the Vancouver show. But we're and also a reminder, bidding is there's barely any bids on these, which means I might have to bid on them and have them shipped to Wichita Falls so I can pick them up directly there. Okay, Morgan, have we seen all the work here now? Yeah, that was the last one, I think. So, oh my gosh. I'm so rude to leave Ezmeralda. Okay, so here we are on Ezmeralda's piece. What was she doing with the tape?
Almost like a pixelated approach, like taking kind of the classical subject matter of the cherry blossoms and then adding these kind of pixelated shapes.
Wow. It's kind of cool. I mean, these sort of like evil flower things going on. I see. The tape was basically just to preserve the opportunity to add those pixels later without any trouble. Yeah, it was. It's a nice work. Okay, well, here we go. We're gonna we are going to announce the winner, excuse me. Morgan, I guess I'm in there, so I'll do it if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, two votes separate our champion from the runner-up, and we're not going to tell you who that runner-up is. That's just not the way it works at Art Battle. We only talk about the winners. And It's my pleasure to announce that we will invite to the national championships and your Phoenix City champion, Steve Nam Caballero.
Wow,
So,
congratulations, Steve.
congratulations, Steve. Let's pop back to Steve's painting here. We'll take a look, and oh, there it is. There you go. There's your winner, and a great representative for Phoenix, for Arizona at the national championships. I don't know what Steve's got up his sleeve, but no doubt we're going to see a little bit of the landscape representation of the state of Arizona. So thank you so much for joining us. Please, as a reminder, the auction will continue. We will keep it open for about 24 hours. You'll get some notices when it's going to close. If you're local in Phoenix, we will arrange with you to connect with these artists to purchase it. Otherwise, we will arrange shipping. So congratulations. A reminder, we are headed to the national championships. Those national championships are in Wichita Falls, Texas, and we absolutely would love for you to join us there if you are able. And if you are not able to join us in person in Wichita Falls, please come and vote online, watch online. You'll be able to see the whole thing just like this at artbattle.com next Saturday night. It's literally exactly 7 days from right now. Wow.
All
so
right,
much
Steve.
to do. Yeah. So, Steve, if you're
week.
watching, go and look on, you get your flights, check them out. We'll be in touch directly about reimbursing for all those flights. So let's make it happen. And to all the other artists, thank you for participating. We will be back to regular in-person events in Phoenix for this upcoming season, and we would welcome all of you to come back and join us again. You've been a great credit to the skills of the artists in the city of Phoenix and in the state of Arizona. So thank you very much. And we are now shortly going to cut over to a Canadian event, the Vancouver event, which is just getting underway now. So stay with us or tune in a week from today.
walking. You need to be going in a lovely tornado-like fashion so everyone can see all at once. And I promise your Instagram stories are going to be much better if you just keep moving. Remember that, just keep moving. Now, for Instagram, tag us at Art Battle Vancouver. And when you arrived here, you would have received a text. And that text message is where you get started. Woo! Yeah. Okay. At easel 1, right in front of me, we have Miranda Warren. Let's give it up for Miranda. This intuitive artist specializes in body painting, street art. Let's hear it again for Miranda Warren. All right, next to Miranda, palette loaded at easel 2, we have Dolly Hallaby. Let's get this digital illustrator specializes in goofy, gory character design and animations. Welcome, Dolly. Woo! And next to Dolly, we have Joanne Purdy. Let's give it up for Joanne. Woo! She celebrates nature and the human form through ornately detailed drywall and relief sculptures. At easel 3, let's hear it for Joanne Purdy. Woo! Now, next to Joanne, we have Jenny Chen. Let's give it up for Jenny. Her dreamy portfolio explores themes of vortexes and reflection in strikingly detailed, surreal approach. At easel 4, let's hear it for Jenny. Woo! And if her painting is anything like her outfit. And last but not least, we have Art Battle OG, Madeline Wynn. Woo! This whimsical artist created colorful paintings of British. All right, so everyone knows what to do. The painters paint. We walk around in what kind of shape?
Circle!
Circle! 10 points for you! Whoever gets there first gets to make this decision.
This one.
Ready? All right, let's count down from 10.
9.
10.
Oh.
9.
8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Let's paint!
Vancouver, I see those feet moving just a little bit.
Such a good helper!
You guys see on the front stage, white. Okay, Vancouver, let's keep walking.
Let's keep walking.
Oh yeah, there we go, there we go. All right, tonight we've got the sweet vinyl 80s sounds from DJ Rich Nice. Let's give it up for DJ Rich Nice. We're gonna hear a vinyl 80s set, and we've got Banana Cam taking photos all night long. And again, your Instagram, your TikTok will look much better if you keep moving in the circle.
Remember a couple years ago when they were Mexican guy with his hat and whatever walking down the steam clock? No? You don't remember that photo?
And? Oh, is that what it is?
Photographer.
Oh, me too. And she's just flipping that canvas all around. And she started with an airbrush and then now is using her lungs as her airbrush.
That's right. Yeah, multi-talented painter. We are now with Dolly, who, as we said before, is known for her pop art, sort of animated cartoony paintings, and we are going. And this is her first battle, so we are going to see an interesting piece from her. Now we're seeing the audience getting their phones in there to take videos and photographs up close, as you can do in Art Battle. A lot of great social media content, really exciting. Look at what I'm doing right now. Sort of opportunities at Art Battle. We love to see the audience involved that way.
Yeah, and check out the sense of light that's coming from Joanne's piece there. There's so much weight in the bottom of the canvas and such a beautiful sense of light.
So much so early. So we'll see where Joanne goes with that. She never disappoints. So she's got a clear plan, but we're going to have to wait to watch her painting materialize. Here we are back with Jenny. And Jenny's form there as she sketched in real quickly. And she's just working on the outline features. And here we are with Madeline, who has added some green on top of that blue. Sort of we got some trees there. A figure walking through the forest, very British Columbia. And she is just working on those features right now.
And I was completely off in thinking that there was an architectural component. It was the sketch of the trees that I was seeing. We're getting the total opposite vibe from where I thought we were going, and I love it.
Yeah, very outdoorsy and a nice piece evolving there. Here we are back with Miranda, who has sort of a very interesting, sort of a butterfly happening on top of a head, sort of very imaginative, very creative.
Yes, it's like it's the pattern of a moth, but being turned into a face, I think.
That's right. Very cool. Here we are with Dolly, who is got a very cartoony sort of almost a Tasmanian devil or some sort of cat with his mouth wide open, tongue sticking out.
Reminding me a little bit of the Itchy and Scratchy cartoons from The Simpsons.
Definitely, probably one of her influences. Dolly has been doing art her whole life. She studied 2D animation at Vancouver Film School too.
Oh, cool! Oh, wow! Check out Joanne. It's something about watching her paint that I love is that she comes from a sculptural background, and when you're seeing her paint, she pays such careful attention to the way that light would play on an object, and I think that is coming from her sculptural background.
Absolutely, and we've seen so many different paintings from Joanne. It's never the same painting twice. She's competed a lot and won a lot, and always does a different piece. Always well executed, mixes it up between landscapes, figurative pieces. So very interesting to watch her always.
And this belly dancer, I think, from Jenny is just
very well realized.
Yeah,
very well realized.
Check out that the highlight on the thigh. Just a really careful placement that just brings it into realism.
Yeah, absolutely. She has some work left to do on what looks like a sort of a cape or a ribbon-like material around the figure, but shaping up really nicely.
Ooh,
a lot of work's gone in here since we've been around the easels. A lot of background being put in around this figure in this forest scene. Some more different colors going into the trees here. I like the way this is shaping up, and there's still a lot of time left, so we're going to see a lot more work here to bring this to life. I'd like to see something in the middle of the background to accentuate the depth of the piece.
Yeah, that tiny bit of negative space that's still there. And next time we come around, I want to highlight the plaid jacket. But anyway, here we are with Miranda Warren, and I'm loving this palette. I would love to see maybe a little bit of a cooler color to kind of contrast how hot this pink is. But again, really enjoying her super body involvement in the creation of this piece.
Yeah, for sure. She's used so many different tools and effects: airbrush, water bottle, squeeze paint, blowing it, getting her canvas off the easel. She's done so much so far. It's going to be very cool to see how that continues, and to see if she adds another complementing color in there, or if she's going to go just with the two-tone pink. And
with Dali here, I think something that lends itself uniquely in this competition to Dali and her style is that there is so much negative space. You know, in her work, because it's so cartoony, often it's represented on a blank page, and that's the emphasis. So I think that the negative space of the canvas plays well with her work.
I think that it does. It'll be interesting to see if she leaves it that way, or if she brings something else in there. She has a lot of space left and a lot of time, if she's just going to work on the character, or if she's going to bring it in with some other complementary background colors. Here we are with Joanne. She's got, it's very cavernous. It's like a fjord almost.
Totally. Perfect word.
Yeah, she's really got a lot of depth in there. And just the texture that she's got in her sky, also adding so much depth to the piece. Joanne's a real pro.
So stunned with the level of distance that she's able to achieve there too. Oh, and now we have Jenny tossing in this background here. A little bit of a risky move because her figure is so well established, kind of getting up close next to the figure with this dark paint.
Yeah, you can see she's being very careful there and hasn't actually gone up to the line of the figure. She may change brushes to do that. She may leave a little bit of a glowing outline of white around the figure. It'll be interesting to see. Back here with I'm sorry, I'm not forgetting the name of this painter, but
I think that it's Madeline.
Madeline Wynn, yeah, and she has filled in so much of her canvas with the green foliage of the trees. This character went from a walk in a sparse wood to walk in a deep forest, and she is working on that jacket that you had mentioned.
Yeah, the careful shadow work underneath the hood, like, just is such a detail that really brings it into being a real character, not just kind of the impression of a human. It's a real person now. Oh, more
Yeah,
airbrush work here with Miranda.
more airbrush, and she's working on sort of the body of the moth and some highlights around there. Very interesting approach here. She's got sort of outlining the things that she's done with the brush. Now she started with the airbrush, now she's back to the airbrush. It's definitely working on those eyes. Those eyes really popping out there.
Yeah,
It'll be
interesting.
interesting to see how the audience likes her use of the airbrush.
I think that she's using it in a way that the audience will feel connected with, because there's a lot of kind of drawing still there with it. Oh, I did not anticipate this lime here, and I like the application straight from the tube too.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times recently. Just an artist using the paint right from the tube to their brush, skipping the palette, and it adds an interesting layer onto this character. I think that in order to contend in this round, she's going to have to add some other feature on there. I'm not sure if the cartoon alone is going to do it.
Ugh, my heart for this painting. I love this. You're really getting such a great sense of direction from the way that this river is passing through this, as you said, fjord, and the sense of light that there's so much light up above, and you're really understanding that the sun is just not able to hit in these caverns yet. It's such look at the size of the brush versus the size of the figure. The size of the brush is much larger than I think I would have expected, for this size of figure, and it's allowing it to keep that impressionistic style, that looseness.
Yeah, it's very nicely captured here. I kind of want to see a little more solid color in that sort of that cape, that train that the figure has there. I think that the sort of light wispy effect is not popping with the body of the figure.
Yeah, just to ground it a bit.
I'd like to see it grounded a little bit more with the solid color, but she has some time left.
Wow, the careful choice of leaving just that hit of negative space really gets you get that sense of convergence of the forest. Like, you're really understanding that the forest is surrounding you, and that there's the breakthrough of the sky.
Yeah, indeed. That's she's left that's been her plan the whole time, and it's been very well executed. Again, and that figure is very very clean. I almost want to see there's a little bit of darkness around the figure. I'd like to see the leaves sort of come in a little bit more. So he's a little bit more immersed, but he's looking pretty good there. And this piece is definitely going to strike a chord with some of the audience members who enjoy the natural elements of British Columbia and Vancouver.
For sure. And those little hits of orange are just helping, because there's so much going on in similarity of tones everywhere, that little hit of orange on the figure is just really helping him to stand out in this big tree world. Okay, yellow. I wanted more color.
One more color, you got yellow.
I dig it.
Yeah. That's a really nice eye. The left eye is really nice, contrasted with a sort of a pop eye on the other side. Interesting. There's still some space on this canvas that could be used to balance out the composition more. Sort of the lower third of the canvas is just has the drips on. It's kind of being underutilized right now. I don't know if she's going to overwork on top of those drips or not, or leave it the way that it is. But this piece definitely stands out from the others. And it has a real performative aspect to it.
Yeah, and kind of like a punk sensibility too. 2 minutes remaining only. And for anybody out there watching, artbattle.com/vote is how you help us choose the top 2 artists from this round who will move on to the final. It's a very, very important job. If you are watching these guys and loving their work and you want to support them, make sure that you give them a vote. All of these pieces are also available for silent auction as well. And also, if you just want to see them paint again, that's a great way to do that, is to vote for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's sort of what I take into account when I vote is who do I want to see create a second painting? Who has interested me enough in themselves as an artist to want to see them create a second piece? That's sort of how I cast my vote. And that's one way, of course, voting for the piece that painting that speaks to you the most is the usual sort of criteria for voting. Here we go. We have a little bit of extra brought in here on Dolly's piece. A couple of alliterative exclamation and question mark, which I thought she did need to use a little bit more of this canvas in order to sort of balance and give this figure more of a story. She has done that. Very interesting to see this here in her very first battle. This is probably a character that she has created before, and I wonder if it has a name.
Yeah, I would love to get that insight. So, Dally, if you watch this after, or if you're a friend of Dally's, let us know in the comments, or maybe you can even help her name the character right now.
Sure.
I like the hit of yellow in the mouth.
Yeah, that's nice and interesting with the green in the fur. Oh, look at Joanne never ceases to impress, and the addition of the green is a total shock. I didn't imagine that coming at all, and it's been done in such an expert manner as to fit in with the no mud. Totally fits in with the shape of the rocks and the feeling of depth and the curve of it going around the corner.
And this tree too. Is this tree new as well?
The tree is new, and
it changes the scale for me.
It does change the scale a little bit. It's almost too big.
It's kind of taking it from being a fjord into a creek, but now I'm understanding that as her intention.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it has definitely changed the scale of the landscape here, but she's just done such a masterful job creating this piece. Definitely going to be a contender in this round.
Okay. Let's got our countdown here. Brushes down.
One more time for all our pieces.
All right.
That was a good one.
That's a nice audience support here. Everybody cheering. I also love seeing the artists going to check out everybody else's work, but also you can kind of see their shoulders relax as soon as the timer ends.
Yeah, I'd love to see the artists' interest in each other and just sort of the camaraderie that they have, and checking out the other paintings that they've been created alongside their own.
Okay, we have just our camera person at our venue is just taking a quick little break. So while we do that, we are going to throw up the auction. And we can see all of the auction pieces from tonight. And so you guys are also seeing the pieces that were made in the Phoenix Championship tonight. So getting a chance to check out a little bit of what happened earlier. And as we cycle through, we're also going to come through all of the pieces that were just created. That was a good round. That was a really good round.
Yeah, that was great. 5 very different pieces from an all-female round.
I gotta say, I think my heart was feeling really connected to the pieces that were supernatural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really liked Jenny's piece. I really liked Jenny's dancer. She sort of added some detail into the face of the figure at the end that really helped bring it to life even more. I thought we didn't get too long of a look at it, but I caught it as we went around there. Looking really good. Going to be a contender in this round. It's going to be a tight vote. I think that Joanne's piece is going to do very well, but it's going to be a very close vote for second. So if you're with us here, go to artbattle.com/vote and register to vote in this event. Your votes help to put the painters through into the final round and then ultimately to decide who is going to be the champion here tonight. So take the time to do that now and check out the silent auction while you're there.
Yeah, it's been, I know that we've been saying it a lot lately, but it just keeps being truer and truer. Often these votes are so close, and it can be between just 1 to 3 votes will change the whole swing of things. And so if you think that your vote doesn't count, it absolutely does. So artbattle.com/vote. You enter your phone number, you get a text with a cool, neat link that you can cast your vote at. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Get it done right now.
So we also have some exciting stuff coming up in Art Battle Land.
We certainly do have some exciting stuff coming up in Art Battle Land. In the States, we are 1 week away from the U.S. National Championship event, and it is going to be a truly spectacular showcase of live art. We have had championship events in all of our cities and regions over the last month, and we have seen just such stellar work. And of course, in each event, a champion was crowned and is being flown to Texas, to Wichita Falls, to compete in the national championships. It is going to be a true showcase of superb skill, courage, and not to be missed. You'll be able to watch that event right here on artbattle.com next Saturday night, April 2nd. So
yeah, Chris and I will be here doing commentary.
We will be watching and up close with the painters as they compete to be crowned the U.S. 2022 national champion. Just so it's such an exciting time for live art. We're really fortunate and grateful to be back in action since we were shut down for a year, 18 months because of the pandemic, and we've been up and running again for about 6 months, and we are so fortunate to be back and happy to be seeing Art Battle action again. And so join us next week, next Saturday night, and you can help decide who becomes the Art Battle U.S. national champion. Of course, the defending national champion Dragon 76 will be there, trying to win for a second time. He's really spectacular, based in New York City. He's a muralist and just has such a complete resume of amazing art creations and client base, and he is going to be there defending his title, and he's going to have a tough job because we've seen such incredible performances in the city and state finals over the last month. We're sending a group of extremely formidable artists there to challenge him for the national championship. It's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be how everything's bigger in Texas, and it is going to be a very, very big event, and we are going to be joined by so many people from across the country watching online, and of course a huge crowd there in Wichita Falls, Texas, which is one of our very vibrant art battle communities. So that's really, really exciting. If you're looking for more Canadian art battle action, this coming Tuesday night, we are going to be live from Toronto with the Art Battle Toronto All-Stars event.
I love an All-Stars event. It's so
All-Stars
exciting.
events are very exciting. They are pretty much just like finals events in the fact that it's all winners and champions, and the quality of the art created is just going to be completely off the hook. That event is nearly sold out, and hosted at the Great Hall in Toronto, which is a really fantastic venue. It's going to be really exciting, and we will be bringing that one live to the internets as well. So you can join us for that one on Tuesday night, not to be missed. We have so many great competitors in that. So it's a really exciting week for Art Battle, and we're really looking forward to it. Of course, Morgan will be hosting both those upcoming events here on artbattle.com. I will be joining Morgan for the national championships, but I will be the MC on stage in Toronto on Tuesday. So I'm really looking forward to that too.
Absolutely. Okay, I think that we are going to take a little break as we wait for our venue team in Vancouver to reset for round number 2, and we will be back very shortly.
Okay, great. Join us for round 2 coming up soon. for her pop art, sort of animated cartoony paintings, and we are going. And this is her first battle, so we are going to see an interesting piece from her. Now we're seeing the audience getting their phones in there to take videos and photographs up close, as you can do in Art Battle. A lot of great social media content, really exciting. Look at what I'm doing right now. Sort of opportunities at Art Battle. We love to see the audience involved that way.
Yeah, and check out the sense of light that's coming from Joanne's piece there. There's so much weight in the bottom of the canvas, and such a beautiful sense of light.
So much so early. So we'll see where Joanne goes with that. She never disappoints. So she's got a clear plan, but we're going to have to wait to watch her painting materialize. Here we are back with Jenny. And Jenny's form there as she sketched in real quickly. And she's just working on the outline features. And here we are with Madeline, who has added some green on top of that blue. Sort of we got some trees there. A figure walking through the forest, very British Columbia. And she is just working on those features right now.
And I was completely off in thinking that there was an architectural component. It was the sketch of the trees that I was seeing. We're getting the total opposite vibe from where I thought we were going, and I love it.
Yeah, very outdoorsy and a nice piece evolving there. Here we are back with Miranda, who has sort of very interesting, sort of a butterfly happening on top of a head, sort of very imaginative, very creative.
Yes, it's like it's the pattern of a moth, but being turned into a face, I think.
That's right. Very cool. Here we are with Dolly, who is got a very cartoony sort of almost a Tasmanian devil or some sort of cat with his mouth wide open, tongue sticking out.
Reminding me a little bit of the Itchy and Scratchy cartoons from The Simpsons.
Definitely, probably one of her influences. Dolly has been doing art her whole life. She studied 2D animation at Vancouver Film School too.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. Check out Joanne. It's something about watching her paint that I love is that she comes from a sculptural background, and when you're seeing her paint, she pays such careful attention to the way that light would play on an object, and I think that is coming from her sculptural background.
Absolutely, and we've seen so many different paintings from Joanne. It's never the same painting twice. She's competed a lot and won a lot and always does a different piece, always well executed, mixes it up between landscapes, figurative pieces. So very interesting to watch her always.
And this belly dancer, I think, from Jenny is just
very well realized.
Yeah,
well realized.
Check out that the highlight on the thigh. Just a really careful placement that just brings it into realism. Yeah,
absolutely. She has some work left to do on what looks like a sort of a cape or a ribbon-like material around the figure, but shaping up really nicely.
Ooh,
a lot of work's gone in here since we've been around the easels. A lot of background being put in around this figure in this forest scene. Some more different colors going into the trees here. I like the way this is shaping up, and there's still a lot of time left, so we're going to see a lot more work here to bring this to life. I'd like to see something in the middle of the background to accentuate the depth of the piece.
Yeah, that tiny bit of negative space that's still there. And next time we come around, I want to highlight the plaid jacket. But anyway, here we are with Miranda Warren, and I'm loving this palette. I would love to see maybe a little bit of a cooler color to kind of contrast how hot this pink is. But again, really enjoying her super like body involvement in the creation of this piece.
Yeah, for sure. She's used so many different tools and effects: airbrush, water bottle, squeeze paint, blowing it, getting her canvas off the easel. She's done so much so far. It's going to be very cool to see how that continues, and to see if she adds another complementing color in there, or if she's going to go just with the two-tone pink.
And with Dali here, I think something that lends itself well uniquely in this competition to Dali and her style is that there is so much negative space. You know, in her work, because it's so cartoony, often it's like represented on a blank page, and that's the emphasis. So I think that the negative space of the canvas plays well with her work.
I think that it does. It'll be interesting to see if she leaves it that way, or if she brings something else in there. She has a lot of space left, and a lot of time if she's just going to work on the character, or if she's going to bring it in with some other complementary background colors. Here we are with Joanne. She's got, it's very cavernous. It's like a fjord almost.
Totally. Perfect word.
Yeah, she's really got a lot of depth in there. And just the texture that she's got in her sky, also adding so much depth to the piece. Joanne's a real pro.
So stunned with the level of distance that she's able to achieve there too. Oh, and now we have Jenny tossing in this background here. A little bit of a risky move because her figure is so well established, kind of getting up close next to the figure with this dark paint.
Yeah, you can see she's being very careful there and hasn't actually gone up to the line of the figure. She may change brushes to do that. She may leave a little bit of a glowing outline of white around the figure. It'll be interesting to see. Back here with, I'm sorry, I'm not forgetting the name of this painter, but
I think that it's Madeline.
Madeline Wynn, yeah. And she has filled in so much of her canvas with the green foliage of the trees. This character went from a walk in a sparse wood to a walk in a deep forest, and she is working on that jacket that you had mentioned.
Yeah, the careful shadow work underneath the hood, like, just is such a detail that really brings it into being a real character, not just kind of the impression of a human. It's a real person now. Oh, more airbrush work here with Miranda.
More airbrush, and she's working on sort of the body of the moth and some highlights around there. Very interesting approach here. She's got sort of outlining the things that she's done with the brush. Now she started with the airbrush, now she's back to the airbrush. It's definitely working on those eyes. Those eyes really popping out there.
Yeah, interesting.
It'll be interesting to see how the audience likes her use of the airbrush.
I think that she's using it in a way that the audience will feel connected with, because there's a lot of kind of drawing still there with it. Oh, I did not anticipate this lime here, and I like the application straight from the tube too.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times recently. Just an artist using the paint right from the tube to their brush, skipping the palette, and it adds an interesting layer onto this character. I think that in order to contend in this round, she's going to have to add some other feature on there. I'm not sure if the cartoon alone is going to do it.
Oh, my heart for this painting. I love this. You're really getting such a great sense of direction from the way that this river is passing through this, as you said, fjord, and the sense of light that there's so much light up above, and you're really understanding that the sun is just not able to hit in these caverns yet. It's such a beautiful piece.
Yeah, she's done a great job in adding such the way that, as you say, that she's captured the sparseness of light within the cavern, along with the bright sky and the depth of the features there. Oh, here we are back with Jenny, and she has brought the background right up to the edge of her figure very carefully.
Good job, Jenny. And look at the size of the brush versus the size of the figure. The size of the brush is much larger than I think I would have expected, for this size of figure. And it's allowing it to keep that impressionistic style, that looseness.
Yeah, it's very nicely captured here. I kind of want to see a little more solid color in that sort of that cape, that train that the figure has there. I think that the sort of light wispy effect is not popping with the body of the figure.
Yeah, just to ground it a bit.
I'd like to see it grounded a little bit more with the solid color, but she has some time left.
Wow, the careful choice of leaving just that hit of negative space really gets you get that sense of convergence of the forest. Like you're really understanding that the forest is surrounding you, and that there's the breakthrough of the sky.
Yeah, indeed. That's she's left that. That's been her plan the whole time, and it's been very well executed. Again, and that figure is very, very clean. I almost want to see the. There's a little bit of darkness around the figure. I'd like to see the leaves sort of come in a little bit more, so he's a little bit more immersed. But he's looking pretty good there, and this piece is definitely going to. Strike a chord with some of the audience members who enjoy the natural elements of British Columbia and Vancouver.
For sure, and those little hits of orange are just helping, because there's so much going on in similarity of tones everywhere, that little hit of orange on the figure is just really helping him to stand out in this big tree world. Okay, yellow. I wanted more color.
You want more color, you got yellow.
Mm-hmm. I dig it.
Yeah. That's a really nice eye. The left eye is really nice, contrasted with a sort of a pop eye on the other side. Interesting. There's still some space on this canvas that could be used to balance out the composition more. Sort of the lower third of the canvas is just has the drips on. It's kind of being underutilized right now. I don't know if she's going to overwork on top of those drips or not, or leave it the way that it is. But this piece definitely stands out from the others. And it has a real performative aspect to it.
Yeah, and kind of like a punk sensibility too. 2 minutes remaining only. And for anybody out there watching, artbattle.com/vote is how you help us choose the top 2 artists from this round who will move on to the final. It's a very, very important job. If you are watching these guys and
with an eye for tropical, vibrant colors, with inspiration from street art, comic books, and rock and roll. Let's come on! All right, on easel 2, we have Mary Goulet. Let's hear it for Mary. She studies human perspectives, emotions, and relationships through multimedia art practice. Make some noise for Mary. Let's hear it. And next to Mary, we have Nas. Let's hear it for Nas. Now Now, she may look timid as this is her first battle of the season. She's a realism enthusiast with an eye for vibrant colors and expansion landscapes. Let's hear it for Naz. And next up, we have Gloria Lou. Let's hear it for Gloria. Armed with an incredible attention to detail, this battler often works with black ink. At easel, let's hear it for Gloria. And last but not least, we have K-Pat. Let's give it up for K-Pat. Born in Africa and raised in rural Ontario, this chameleon creator teaches life drawing, paints in a studio, and is a comic book artist. Let's give it up for K-Pat. All right, now if you are enjoying the sounds of Rich Nines, we've got another 80s vinyl set coming up.
Woo!
Yeah, all right. Let's count down from
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's paint!
All right, let's paint. Welcome back, everyone,
Okay.
to Art Battle Vancouver. This is round number 2. We have 6 more incredible artists stepping up to the easels, and 20 minutes on the clock. My name is Morgan Booth, and I'm here with Art Battle co-founder Chris Pemberton.
Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to Art Battle Vancouver.
Ooh, check
This
this! Check this purple. Is this a marker?
It's behaving like a marker. It is a marker. I think it is a paint marker. Quite a thick one, and he's got he's drawn on what looks like it's going to be a portrait piece, and he's got that on so early, and he is working with, is that spray or is that water?
Yeah, I think that he's flicking. Oh, okay, yeah, it is a little mini spray bottle there. I was checking out the line work from this marker, and then it started dripping because I didn't realize that he had switched tools.
Mm-hmm. A really quick start for Juan here, and now we are at easel number 2 with Marie, and Marie is carefully drawing a face on the lower section of the canvas, leaving a lot of room up at the top. Be interesting to see what she does with that.
Yeah, interesting placement. Just like from a I see where she's going with it. I think that we're going to get a lot of crazy hair involvement. I think that's going to be dominant in the composition.
Yeah, looks like maybe some cracks on the canvas. Very, very well drawn in, a very steady hand.
Yeah, super steady.
This is Marie's second art battle, and she was a finalist in her first outing, which was in October of 2021.
I always love having, it's so exciting having finalists come back because they're fresh off of that almost energy. You know, they're back and they want to win it.
Yeah, they heard their name called once.
Yeah.
As a winner, and they are back and really going for the victory in their second time. We see that quite often. Now we're at easel number 3 with Nasreen Nurizadeh Kolu.
Ooh, lots of palette work from Nasreen, and I gotta say I wasn't anticipating that because when I was checking out her work, a lot of it was quite watercolor based. So love seeing this very painterly textural approach from Nasreen.
Well, we often see artists change up their style from the studio to their live work, just based around what they can and can't do within the 20 minutes. Maybe they feel that their studio style won't come through. So it's very interesting to see what she's going to create tonight if it is indeed different from her studio style.
Mm-hmm. All right, who are we with now? Gloria Lou.
This is Gloria's first art battle, so it'll be very interesting to see how she approaches it. No hesitation, a lot of coverage on the canvas so far. Looks like maybe a landscape beach scene. Hard to tell, but she is now attempting to draw in her figures with a fine brush over a wet background. It can be very difficult to work wet on wet.
That's a big challenge too, especially if you're going so specific and you're wanting to get really, really thin line work. At that point, you almost need to be kind of carving it in, or at least waiting until it's a little bit tackier. So Gloria is usually in kind of more of the illustrative and pen and ink realm. So seeing her approach to the paint application in that kind of risky space, we'll see where she's going to go with that.
And
K-Pat.
we're seeing K-Pat here.
And we can see his reference is a drawing that he has done. Always love seeing that. And it looks like the representation from the sketch on the canvas as it relates to his reference. I almost like the sketch better. It's got a really cool energy right now. It's a little bit confrontational, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he's able to recapture that here in these 20 minutes. He's working carefully on the upper lip of his figure, which he has drawn out here, and glancing down at his reference quite often. How do you think the audience relates to artists using references?
I think there's a degree of curiosity there. I do think that the audience likes it maybe a little bit better when it's a drawing that the artist has done themselves. Although I did see from Heather Olson in Oakland the other night, I think. No, where was I?
Salt Lake City.
Yes, in Salt Lake City the other night. We saw her use a black and white reference and execute the reference in color in the painting, and she won. And I think that was a factor for her success, was that the audience was really stoked that, like, whoa, she did all of that color work out of her brain. So it's it's all in the eye of the beholder. And
Sure.
We're always asking for everyone's opinions at Art Battle. That's the nature of the beast too. But here we are with Juan, and I gotta say, I'm into this palette, this kind of blues and this really warm purple.
Mm-hmm. I want to see what he does with the eyes of this character, of this portrait here. He's done the shading in there to suggest the eyes are sort of suggested right now. It'd be interesting to see if he goes in and completes that and brings them to life. We are with Marie, and she has wasted no time, and she's almost got a completely colorized and textured portrait. She's just working on some of the shading right now, but she's left a lot of white space on the canvas. It is going to be almost impossible to bring a background in up to the edges of all those cracks. There's so many different lines and surfaces that I don't think she's going to, and it'll be interesting to see how this piece looks with the white background.
Yeah, and that's really close to her studio work as well. Often the composition is just concentrated on the figure, and there's like a lot of color and like dot work happening in just the figure, and then a lot of negative space around it. So I always find the negative space is a big challenge in Art Battle, because I think the audience really expects you to fill it, and they can almost perceive it as being unfinished if you don't fill it. But this is true to her studio style. So, but they don't know that, you know?
They don't know that unless they have checked out her Instagram, which is quite possible. Here we are moving over to Nasreen. Nasreen in her first battle here. We have two first-timers going in this round, and She has tried to create some depth of a pathway sort of down between the trees here. Interesting to see if she is able to pull that off. Right now it is still very much in progress.
Yeah, I think it's intentional keeping that kind of column of yellow between the trees, but I am seeing a little bit of the blue kind of cresting around it. So I'm hoping that she kind of contains that within the branches, which is actually, I think she just did that. I love when I get my wish.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if she adds a figure in here. This is the sort of landscape that we often see. As we saw in the first round, we saw a forest, sort of a forest landscape with a figure walking through. It'll be interesting to see if she does add a figure into here, or if she leaves it open to the viewer's imagination.
Yeah, like the audience definitely won't be able to help themselves but kind of make those direct comparisons, right? Even though they're in different rounds. Okay, very, very small figure with Gloria, almost in a silhouette kind of space.
A figure with holding up, I think, an umbrella, and is being overwhelmed by this water feature, whether it's the ocean or what it is exactly. Maybe it's the sky and not the ocean, but interesting to see here. She's left some space on the sort of the beachy area to the right of the figure. Maybe we're going to see another figure or another landscape feature in there.
Oh, and we're getting just the impression of a moon there. So very, this approach is quite illustrative in that it's using smaller drawing aspects within this painting. Okay, back with K-Pat.
Back with K-Pat, and right where we left him, he is still working on the lips of this figure. He's left himself a lot of work to do as the clock runs down here.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, I thought that we were gonna have more paint on the canvas at this point from him. He's got a lot of work left to do with only 8.5 minutes left on the clock.
That's right. He has left himself a lot of work to do. He has some full lips in there, but now we can see he's getting into those looks like the only eye of this figure. But he has, as we say, he's got a lot of canvas and detail to cover in just the 8 minutes that are left. So is he working with a pen there?
Yeah, it looks like he's working with like a little felt tip micron, and I don't think that strategy is helping him in the timed arena. I think that he might be getting caught up in some of the smaller details. But again, with 8 minutes or so left on the clock, there is still time for kind of some big moves, but he better get going.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the nails here.
The nails are very cool. I was not expecting him to bring hands into this, but he's done a good job, and he also answered my previous question and interest about the eyes by putting in some very long lashes and some nice shading on the face. It looks rather painterly up there.
Yeah, it's just stunning. I'm loving the that all of the colors in this palette are very closely related to each other. I think that that's working really well for him. I also think that Juan is taking an interesting approach in terms of his battle history. I'm used to seeing more animals from him, so it's impressing me, and I'm feeling connected to this piece as a portrait. Because I was impressed with the animal pieces, and now I'm impressed with the portraits too.
Nice to see a wide variety of subject matter and techniques from an artist. Of course, the audience, now the people who are there tonight may not have seen his previous work, but they do like to see a variety of different styles from a painter. They sort of the one-trick pony doesn't usually get the votes in the final round. If Juan makes it to the final round, we're probably going to see one of the animals that you're used to. Oh, here we have some ink.
Ink. That's a challenge. That's very difficult to control. And we did just see Marie using her hand to block the face to make sure that that didn't come on. But the viscosity of ink is so difficult to control.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is helping her solve the negative space issue.
Yeah, but she has a very good solution to that. As well, some really good coverage right now. We see her getting in there with her finger, again, smearing down some of those paint blobs to give more of a gravitational effect on the leaves. And interesting approach. She completely finished the face first before starting this.
Yeah, it's almost two pieces that she's kind of knit together. Oh, I'd love to give her a credit card to pull all of those dots down. It's so funny. You get easel envy as a commentator sometimes. So you're just wishing that you could jump in and do a thing.
You want to help them finish their painting.
Yeah. Okay, I think I just saw a little bit of a shoulder dance from Nasreen too. I think she's having fun.
Yeah, well, Vancouver is got a great DJ. DJ Rich Nines has been there, has done several events over the course of years with us in Vancouver and spins some really delicious music while these artists are painting. So the opportunity to dance is definitely there.
Nice. And if you're out there in the internet wondering why we're not playing it for you, because of copyright issue, but so you'll have to just play your own favorite song in your head.
That's right.
To see what Nasreen is dancing to. Okay, and lots of knife work from her. Very concentrated textural, and she's trying to work around these trees now.
Yeah, she's trying to put a sort of a sky in the back in between the branches, which is sort of the opposite approach that you usually see. And here we are with Gloria, and she has, as I speculated, used some of this empty room down here on the land area or the beach area. She's put in some trees, which their scale doesn't exactly match that of the figures. Kind of interesting, but this is her first art battle, so sometimes it can be difficult to pump out something realistic without any experience at the easel.
And I think that the scale is providing a little bit of a challenge for her as well, because when you're working with the main focal points being so small in a timed audience setting, that can work against you just from the sheer fact that the audience might not be able to clearly see what you're doing so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a very careful execution with these super, super small brushes. And I like seeing how clean she's kept her lines.
Yeah, she's managed to get her figure in there on the wet background very cleanly, which can be a challenge. So we'll see if that's the extent of her piece or if she brings more to it. Here we are with K-Pat, who has done a lot of work since we were here at the easel on the last turn. He's got a sort of a half-face portrait here. He's brought in a strong eyebrow and some hair curving around. He had already finished the lips, and the eye is looking good. Be interesting to see if he leaves it this way or if we're going to see something on the right-hand side. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 90 seconds left on the clock now. So if
Oh,
he
that's
is
not a lot
gonna,
of time.
yeah, so I think that we are gonna keep that negative space there. But the refinement of the eye has been nice, and I did enjoy seeing how quickly he was able to really fill in that canvas. That's an admirable amount of work to get done in that short amount of time.
Yeah, he has a lot of experience. We've seen K-Pat competing in Vancouver for about 6 years now. So he's got a lot of experience. I guess he knows the timing. He was able to fill that in, but not a lot of time left.
I can hear Lindsay in my ear at the venue saying, "I really like this. This is my color palette." The unintentional third commentator here, loving it, and I agree.
Absolutely.
This palette's so good.
Yeah, very interesting. And he had so much done so early, and has used the rest of the time just to bring a lot of depth and into this piece. And an interesting background. He's now putting an extra layer of glow around the figure with another color, and I like the addition of that color. It looks really
It
great.
literally made me gasp. I was just thinking I need a little bit of heat, and then we got it.
Yeah, for sure. A really nice addition, working it in there with the palette knife, and he's got just enough time to finish off both sides. We'll see if he gets it done.
Okay, looks like Marie is just, it looks like she's finished and is just kind of biding her brushstrokes, as it were.
Yeah, just adding a little bit of accented colors on the face here, which she finished off earlier. She's done with the leaves. It'll be interesting to see what the audience thinks of that one.
A more directional knife work here. Oh, here we are with our countdown.
4, 3, 2, 1. Brushes down. Woo!
All right, brushes down.
Let's hear it one more time for our round.
It's such a fun phrase.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that it exists in the art battle art sports realm.
Definitely, it's a great call for sure.
Okay, everyone out there, voting is open for round number 2. You definitely got to help us choose the top 2 artists from this round. They will move on to the final, where we will see them paint again in another 20-minute round with a new blank canvas. And they will be trying to impress you even more than they did the first time. So make sure that you support your favorite artist from this round.
Absolutely. Who do you want to see paint for a second time here tonight? The winning artists, the winning 2 artists from the first round and the top 2 artists from the second round will paint in the third round, and they will be creating their second painting of the evening. What will we see? Who will we see creating it? It is up to you to decide. Who do you want to see from this round create a second painting? Who do you think deserves to get another 20 minutes at the easel? It's time to vote. artbattle.com/vote. And it's very easy there to get your votes in. We're just seeing the photos being added right now to the voting site. So if you want to hold on a couple minutes to see the pictures added in there, they're just being added on right now. But of course, if you've been with us, you've seen all 5 of these paintings up close, and it is up to you to decide. Of course, all of these pieces are available through silent auction too, starting at a very affordable price. So if you want to call one of these pieces your own, you have the opportunity to do that. We will ship the painting to you, no problem.
quite the opportunity to get started on a collection. Often these pieces are starting at really reasonable prices, especially when you compare it to what the artist might be selling out of their studio. Plus, you got to just see that painting be born.
That's right. You saw it go from blank canvas to finished piece. An artwork that comes with a story that you'll be able to tell and to share, and a life that you were part of the creation of. So, an excellent way to start a collection or to add to or continue a collection. We have all the photos in now on the voting website. You can see all of these pieces. You can review them and choose which one is your favorite, but now is the time to vote. We've got about 5 or 10 minutes to get all the votes in there, to count them up and decide which 2 painters are going through to the final round.
All right, and we are going to take a short break while the venue resets for round number 3 and while the votes roll in to see who will be going to the final and who we're going to see paint again. In the meantime, we're going to do a little replay of some of our favorite highlight moments from round number 1.
All right, great. Stick with us, guys.
Make sure that you give them a vote. All of these pieces are also available for silent auction as well. And also, if you just want to see them paint again, that's a great way to do that, is to vote for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's sort of what I take into account when I vote is who do I want to see create a second painting? Who has interested me enough in themselves as an artist to want to see them create a second piece? That's sort of how I cast my vote, and that's one way, of course. Voting for the piece that painting that speaks to you the most is the usual sort of criteria for voting. Here we go. We have a little bit of extra brought in here on Dolly's piece. A couple of alliterative exclamation and question mark, which I thought she did need to use a little bit more of this canvas in order to sort of balance and give this figure more of a story. She has done that. Very interesting to see this here in her very first battle. This is probably a character that she has created before, and I wonder if it has a name.
Yeah, I would love to get that insight. So, Dally, if you watch this after, or if you're a friend of Dally's, let us know in the comments, or maybe you can even help us help her name the character right now.
Sure.
I like the hit of yellow in the mouth.
Yeah, that's nice and interesting with the green in the fur. Oh, look at Joanne never ceases to impress, and the addition of the green is a total shock. I didn't imagine that coming at all, and it's been done in such an expert manner as to fit in with the no mud. Totally fits in with the shape of the rocks and the feeling of depth and the curve of it going around the corner.
And this tree too. Is this tree new as well?
The tree is new, and
it changes the scale for me.
It does change the scale a little bit. It's almost too big.
It's kind of taking it from being a fjord into a creek, but now I'm understanding that as her intention.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it has definitely changed the scale of the landscape here, but she's just done such a masterful job creating this piece. Definitely going to be a contender in this round.
Okay. Just got our countdown here. Brushes down.
One more time for all our painters.
All right.
That was a good one. I
Some nice audience support here. Everybody cheering. I also love seeing the artists going to check out everybody else's work, but also you can kind of see their shoulders relax as soon as the timer ends.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see the artists' interest in each other, and just sort of the camaraderie that they have, and checking out the other paintings that they've been created alongside their own. Of
A blank page, and that's the emphasis. So I think that the negative space of the canvas plays well with her work.
I think that it does. It'll be interesting to see if she leaves it that way, or if she brings something else in there. She has a lot of space left, and a lot of time if she's just going to work on the character, or if she's going to bring it in with some other complementary background colors. Here we are with Joanne. She's got, it's very cavernous. It's like a fjord almost.
Totally. Perfect word. Perfect word.
Yeah, she's really got a lot of depth in there. And just the texture that she's got in her sky, also adding so much depth to the piece. Joanne's a real pro.
So stunned with the just the level of distance that she's able to achieve there too. Oh, and now we have Jenny tossing in this background here. A little bit of a risky move because her figure is so well established, kind of getting up close next to the figure with this dark paint.
Yeah, you can see she's being very careful there and hasn't actually gone up to the line of the figure. She may change brushes to do that. She may leave a little bit of a glowing outline of white around the figure. It'll be interesting to see. Back here with, I'm sorry, I'm not forgetting the name of this painter, but
I think that it's
she is
Madeline.
Madeline Wynn, yeah, and she has filled in so much of her canvas with the green foliage of the trees. This character went from a walk in a sparse wood to a walk in a deep forest, and she is working on that jacket that you had mentioned.
Yeah, the careful shadow work underneath the hood, like, just is such a detail that really brings it into being a real character, not just kind of the impression of a human. It's a real person now. Oh, more airbrush work here with Miranda.
More airbrush, and she's working on sort of the body of the moth and some highlights around there. Very interesting approach here. She's got sort of outlining the things that she's done with the brush. Now she started with the airbrush, now she's back to the airbrush. It's definitely working on those eyes. Those eyes really popping out there.
Yeah, interesting.
It'll be interesting to see how the audience likes her use of the airbrush.
I think that she's using it in a way that the audience will feel connected with, because there's a lot of kind of drawing still there with it. Oh, I did not anticipate this lime here, and I like the application straight from the tube too.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times recently. Just an artist using the paint right from the tube to their brush, skipping the palette. And it adds an interesting layer onto this character. I think that in order to contend in this round, she's going to have to add some other feature on there. I'm not sure if the cartoon alone is going to do it.
Oh, my heart for this painting. I love this. You're really getting such a great sense of direction from the way that this river is passing through this, as you said, fjord, and the sense of light that there's so much light up above, and you're really understanding that the sun is just not able to hit in these caverns yet. It's such a beautiful piece.
Yeah, she's done a great job in adding such the way that, as you say, that she's captured the sparseness of light within the cavern, along with the bright sky and the depth of the features there. Oh, here we are back with Jenny, and she has brought the background right up to the edge of her figure very carefully.
Good job, Jenny. And look at the size of the brush versus the size of the figure. The size of the brush is much larger than I think I would have expected, for this size of figure. And it's allowing it to keep that impressionistic style, that looseness.
Yeah, it's very nicely captured here. I kind of want to see a little more solid color in that sort of that cape, that train that the figure has there. I think that the sort of light wispy effect is not popping with the body of the figure.
Yeah, just to ground it a bit.
I'd like to see it grounded a little bit more with the solid color, but she has some time left.
Wow, the careful choice of leaving just that hit of negative space really gets you get that sense of convergence of the forest. Like you're really understanding that the forest is surrounding you, and that there's the breakthrough of the sky.
Yeah, indeed. That's she's left that's been her plan the whole time, and it's been very well executed. Again, and that figure is very very clean. I almost want to see there's a little bit of darkness around the figure. I'd like to see the leaves sort of come in a little bit more, so he's a little bit more immersed. But he's looking pretty good there, and this piece is definitely going to strike a chord with some of the audience members who enjoy the natural elements of British Columbia and Vancouver.
For sure, and those little hits of orange are just helping, because there's so much going on in similarity of tones everywhere, that little hit of orange on the figure is just really helping him to stand out in this big tree world. Okay, yellow. I wanted more color.
You want more color, you got yellow.
I dig it.
Yeah. That's a really nice eye. The left eye is really nice, contrasted with a sort of a pop eye on the other side. Interesting. There's still some space on this canvas that could be used to balance out the composition more. Sort of the lower third of the canvas is just has the drips on. It's kind of being underutilized right now. I don't know if she's going to overwork on top of those drips or not, or leave it the way that it is. But this piece definitely stands out from the others. And it has a real performative aspect to it.
Yeah, and kind of like a punk sensibility too. 2 minutes remaining only. And for anybody out there watching, artbattle.com/vote is how you help us choose the top 2 artists from this round who will move on to the final. So very, very important job. If you are watching these guys and loving their work and you want to support them, make sure that you give them a vote. All of these pieces are also available for silent auction as well. And also, if you just want to see them paint again, that's a great way to do that, is to vote for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's sort of what I take into account when I vote is who do I want to see create a second painting? Who has interested me enough in themselves as an artist to want to see them create a second piece? That's sort of how I cast my vote, and that's one way, of course. Voting for the piece that painting that speaks to you the most is the usual sort of criteria for voting. Here we go. We have a little bit of extra brought in here on Dolly's piece. A couple of alliterative exclamation and question mark, which I thought she did need to use a little bit more of this canvas in order to sort of balance and give this figure more of a story. She has done that. Very interesting to see this here in her very first battle. This is probably a character that she has created before, and I wonder if it has a name.
Yeah, I would love to get that insight. So, Dally, if you watch this after, or if you're a friend of Dally's, let us know in the comments, or maybe you can even help us help her name the character right now.
Sure.
I like the hit
I
of yellow in the mouth.
Yeah, that's nice and interesting with the green and the fur. Oh, look at Joanne never ceases to impress, and the addition of the green is a total shock. I didn't imagine that coming at all, and it's been done in such an expert manner as
Yeah,
to
no
fit
mud.
in with the no mud. Totally fits in with the shape of the rocks and the feeling of depth and the curve of it going around the corner.
And this tree
Really,
too. Is this tree new as well?
this the tree is new, and
It changes the scale for me.
it does change the scale a little bit. Almost, it's almost too big.
It's kind of taking it from being a fjord into a creek, but now I'm understanding that as her intention.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it has definitely changed the scale of the landscape here, but she's just done such a masterful job creating this piece. Definitely going to be a contender in this round.
Okay. Just got our countdown here. Brushes down.
One more time for all our painters!
All right.
That was a good one. I
Some
gave
nice
you some time to walk around.
audience
I got to see
support
every one of
here,
those.
everybody
Painters,
cheering.
don't forget to
I also
sign
love
your
seeing
names.
the artists going to check out everybody else's work, but also you can kind of see their shoulders relax as soon as the timer ends.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see the artists' interest in each other and just sort of the camaraderie that they have and checking out the other paintings that they've been created alongside their own.
Okay, we have just our camera person at our venue is just taking a quick little break. So while we do that, we are going to throw up the auction, and we can see all of the auction pieces from tonight. And so
and these are some artists. Hi, hello. Say hello to the audience. Your 15 minutes of fame. 15 minutes of fame. Yeah. There you go. Back online.
Yay!
There was my dear.
Make sure they come out.
Well,
Just like in general, everyone come out.
okay.
ready. Vancouver, this is a reminder to get a drink, get some fresh air, and we'll be ready in just a few moments.
Okay, we have just had the announcement about the artists that will be moving on to the third and final round of Art Battle Vancouver tonight. From round number 1, we have Joanne Purdy and Madeline Wynn. And from round number 2, moving forward, is Juan Vega and Mary Goulet. So big congratulations to these 4 artists. We cannot wait to see you paint again. And we will be back for the third and final round in about 5 minutes. These guys are just going to get their palettes set, and our venue team is going to whip up some fresh new canvas, and we will be back to battle. Hello and welcome to Art Battle Salt Lake City. We have 12 artists here tonight who are going to be painting live 20-minute paintings in a competition of creativity and courage for your votes. My name is Morgan Booth, and I'm here with Art Battle co-founder Simon Plaschkes. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Morgan.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
Oh, absolutely. These guys have been waiting a long time for this. Is basically a rescheduled pre-COVID show, and a few of our artists are in from that earlier book show, and we have also a bunch of favorites. I know that we have a bunch of really fantastic artists tonight. Who was our artist who came from Chicago just now? Heather Olson, right?
Heather Olson. Yeah, Heather is an extraordinary painter.
Heather came really close to winning the Midwest Regional Championships in Chicago last Friday. That's only like 4 days ago, and here she is in another battle, the season opener for this new Art Battle season in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I feel super lucky to be able to see her paint again, and to be able to see all of these 12 painting with us tonight.
Yeah, I think she must be in the second round. I don't see her there. But we have a fantastic group of artists. Who are you excited about in round one?
I'm pretty into Hervey Garcia. I believe that he has a bit of a street art inspiration going on, so I think that that's going to be bringing some really cool flavor.
Amazing. Do you think that will be expressed in materials use? Are we going to see some marker? Are we seeing spray? What do you expect out of him?
I think that it's more going to be in terms of attitude.
Attitude.
Yeah.
Nice.
One moment.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, and let's paint. Brushes up, painters, as they say.
Brushes up.
Brushes up. There they go. Ooh, I like what we've got here at easel 1. Look at that. Is it a mirror as a palette?
Might be a mirror, might just be a glass palette. But I love a glass palette. And that also tells me that there's a high degree of professionalism there because
Yeah.
only the best work with glass palettes.
Yeah, exactly. Are you a glass palette artist?
I should be. I use disposable palettes because I'm too lazy to clean my glass palettes. But glass palette artists, they keep a clean studio. They're pros.
Well, at most events these days, we used to use pretty disposable stuff at our battle. At as many events as possible these days, we're being reducing, reusing, and recycling. So a lot of reusable palettes, acrylic slabs, and that sort of thing. I do see some paper plates here tonight, but there's no denying the benefit of a paper mixing plate. It sure makes it easy to clean up at the end of the show.
Yeah, definitely. All right, who do we got?
We don't have any names,
Tiffany
so we're going to have to go
Hooper.
off the records. Tiffany on easel 4?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And she's got kind of a black field going, and I believe that it looks like she's starting to kind of carve in a bit of a drawing. I always like to see that. I always love to see artists kind of drawing into wet paint. It's almost a sculptural element to me. And
Yes.
then this is Hervey.
Good, very fast. So this is also a fairly wet approach. Sometimes we see these this maneuver with a dry brush, this sort of fast horizontal or at least lateral strokes. But it's wet there, so we'll see what he comes up with. Wow, on easel 6 here, we've already got a very, very colorful wave. That's really something, and only a few minutes in.
Yeah, Oliver Myers. And Oliver, this is seeming really close to his studio work in that his studio work is super, super vibrant. Lots and lots of vibrant colors, a lot of movement, some kind of hot and cold play in the palette.
And I see him using a sponge there, I think, as
Yeah.
his primary tool right now.
And this is Benedict Halsey. And Benedict is an artist that I've been really excited to see tonight. Benedict does a lot of painting from live models, and just his handling of the gestures of the human body is really, really good. And as anyone who's used to painting live models, there's a huge element of immediacy there. So I think that skill set will lend itself well to Art Battle.
Yeah, and we see he's painting from a reference, so I bet you we're going to get a nice figure out.
And here we are with Caleb Kieran.
Wow, I barely see anything there, but I think that maybe is like a little bit of camera effects. I think there is a sketch hiding under that.
Yeah, I think. Oh, when we see his shadow pass over, we can get the sense of the pencil drawing that might be underneath there. And then it looks like he's adding some umber on top of here. And Kieran also teaches art as an art instructor and comes from a place of being self-taught himself. So I think that that's a really cool achievement, being a self-taught artist and honing all of these skills on your own and then getting them to a point that you become a teacher yourself. That's so cool.
Yeah, I do like that, and hopefully there's a couple of students in the audience here tonight.
I would not be surprised. I bet that there are. And then who are we here with now? Now we're back with Tiffany, I think. And something
Great. I wonder what she's up to here.
Yeah,
I don't get it yet.
I think that she is doing that drawing technique, and I'm hoping that she adds some whites in there a little bit more prominently, so that you can understand the painting better at a distance. And here we are with Harvey, and I had originally thought that he was street art influenced, but I was mistaken. That was a different artist. Harvey is known for his sense of magical realism, where he's creating these portraits that also incorporate elements of nature and kind of surreal elements. So blending the real and the surreal, and describes his work as magical realism.
Oh, it's lovely.
Which is
And
one
magical.
of my favorite descriptive words. Like, how do you paint magical realism?
Magical realism.
Yeah.
Well, I use a little bit of magic and
And a little bit of realism.
a little bit of realism.
All right. Oliver looks like he's doing a great job with this technique here. I'm liking the lighter elements on the inside of the wave. You're getting this sense of light that's being captured from that kind of sunset that he's got going on.
Beautiful. It's such a great palette. And you see he's moved from the sponge to the brush now.
And here we are back with Benedict. And
Yeah, Benedict's clearly a real pro here. Benedict's the one who's using that glassware mirror palette.
yeah.
And though he hasn't taken like this sort of layered approach, it hasn't panned out yet, but it's one that we've seen used very, very successfully among some really talented artists at Art Battle, and I think generally in artist studios. It's a very layered approach to building this. We have a quite an artful sort of fundamental silhouette, and it's being and he's just going to keep adding the layers of detail here, I'm sure.
Highly concentrated on this drawing.
It's beautiful.
Are we basically ready?
I love the.
Almost ready? As ready as we can be? Yeah.
artists, this is your last round to walk around in a circle. I know you've been waiting for this moment to shine. It's been a long few years. Brush off those dancing feet and let's get ready. All right, count with me in 10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's
Wait.
and Madeline have been to the final, and Marie have been to the final before but have not won. And of course, we know that Joanne has won multiple times at Art Battle. So we have some very experienced painters here. They understand the pressure, and they are working very quickly to get their paintings done in just the 20 minutes here. From Juan, it looks like this is the head of maybe it's a bison. We know that he paints. He painted a portrait in his first attempt here, but we know that he likes to paint animals, and so we were expecting to see an animal from him here, and it's reading like the head of a bison at the moment.
Yes, definitely. And this, once again, the color play from Juan is such an exciting element of his piece. Like, not only are we getting such an energetic execution in terms of brushwork of this bison, but the palette is really communicating so much energy as well.
Yeah, and here we are with Marie, and we can see that the framing that she did was eyelids, and she is painting a huge eye.
Yes, and going for more, sorry, I think going for a little bit more of a realistic technique than we saw from her first round. Her first round was really leaning heavily into the surrealist. So we'll see if she brings that into this piece as well.
Well, we're only a few minutes in here, and she has almost completed this eye. So it's going to be very interesting to see what she does with the space in the remaining time. She's got a lot of time left, and it's going to be interesting to see how she fills that out. I'm sure she's not almost done.
Oh, and here we are with Joanne, and look at how softly she's blending this out. And I do think that it has ended up being a reclining nude on their side, and we're just getting the kiss of light across the high points of this body in such a beautiful, soft way.
Yeah, she is a master of subtle shading, and definitely painting a reclined figure here, and I'm very interested to see just how much life she gets in here. She started off in such a great way, and it is a very different painting from her first. The audience does like to see different paintings from the painters, even the really especially talented ones, and so she is working very carefully on the nipple. And it is important to have a good nipple. The nipple sets such a tone for the rest of the body.
Yeah, it really can bring it into that kind of realist space, and it's you got to place that correctly. Oh, we just before we went away, we were seeing a line coming off of the hip, and I feel like that's going to go in an unexpected direction, and I can't wait.
I can't wait to get back around to see her painting. Here we are with Madeline, and you're right. Those were trees, and she is again in a forest here, but with a different palette than she used in the first round, or the second round was.
Very painterly approach here. I know it's a forest scene, but I'm almost, the way that the palette is happening right now, and the kind of fogginess of it is almost giving me underwater vibes. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, it's, it's almost like surface tension. The canopy of the trees right now is almost like the surface tension of water. It's reminding me a little bit of Paul Neighbor's work.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. It's very interesting. She had a figure in her first painting, but I don't see room for a figure in this painting, so she's going to be going on the strength of the trees alone.
And what has Juan got going on over here? Oh, wow. A lot more darkness has been brought into this bull or bison, now, and the way that he's using the darkness against all of the color that he had already established underneath is so great. He's just allowing it to shine through.
Yeah, he's doing it. These white highlights look really good. They look really great around the nose and the mouth of the beast here. They really bring sort of a depth, a sort of a 3D effect to it, which is very cool.
Mm-hmm. And I like the way that the orange and the purple are playing together as well.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Again, he's still got a lot of time left, so it'll be interesting to see if he can keep filling this out without making it muddy.
Yeah, so much time left. 9.5 minutes remaining, and we would love to have your help out there in the internet, anybody that is watching, to help us decide who's going to win this final round of Art Battle Vancouver and who will move on to the Art Battle Vancouver City Finals. So artbattle.com/vote. Every vote counts, and these artists sure do appreciate it. Okay, so we're starting to see the surrealist element from Marie's first piece coming into play now.
Yeah, definitely. She has done a sort of an unusual approach here with a tree, sort of similar to the tree that she did in the second round, now coming out in the eye here, and will be interesting to see if she gets the ink effect in here again as she did the first time.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a dangerous game, I think, with the ink in the eye against all of this white paint and against the containment of the lower eyelid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that fills out and how she's able to control the space. Oh, here we have Joanna's painted a wine glass balancing on the hip of her nude figure.
I was not anticipating that at all. Not at all.
No, it's a very ad agency piece here.
And with kind of the singular selective color technique as well there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also seeing a fair amount of texture where we would anticipate the rest of the body being. And I'm curious to see where that goes as well. Is that just going to remain there as a textural component? Is it going to be blended out?
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see. She's got a lot of time left, and so see how she uses it here. Right now, she's just working on the realism of the wine glass. She is being very careful in her approach.
Okay, and back with Madeline. Oh, I like these hits of orange.
Oh, she did add a figure.
Yes, she did, and I think it's the same character, too.
It's very similar.
This has gone from being a beautiful forest scene to a continued narrative, and I think it takes a high level of skill conceptually to be able to continue that.
How does the audience respond to continuative narrative between the first and the second round, first and the final round pieces?
I love it. The audience doesn't always love it because they often, like, I think as an artist, I love to see series being realized, but sometimes for the audience, they want to see something, they don't want to feel like they've seen it already. So that's kind of the risk that Madeline is taking right now with this piece.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely like to see a variety, a totally new painting. They want to know that the artist has the ability to create just more than one thing. So she will definitely be some pauses on whether or not people vote for that. Here we are back with Juan, who is as we speak, is splattering. So many different techniques he's used here.
So many different techniques. We saw him use paint and then a marker and then spray, like all in the first 70 seconds. And now he's just continuing to surprise us with these different techniques. And at this point, I would not say that this piece is overpainted, but he's got to be careful in the last 5 minutes here.
Yeah, for sure. He is. He's at the risk of muddying it up. It's so full right now that anything he does is going to be very risky. He's almost got a complete piece now. I love the yellow on the background.
Yeah,
it really works with the other colors.
Yeah, it creates such a sense of glow, and it also helps you to kind of understand the light play that's happening on the bison's face, that the light source is coming from behind him.
Yeah. A very cool piece, though, and I think that the audience is really going to appreciate the difference between his first and second piece.
So we can see that Marie is working on the catch lights in the pupil of this eye now. I'm wondering, at one point I thought that they were kind of suggesting like a window.
Yeah. I don't think that that's her idea here. I think that she's just trying to make it as realistic as possible. Here we see Joanne back on the figure now, working on the shading of the legs, and very interesting and very tricky not to lose that subtlety that she's got already here. She's got to be careful.
Such a great point. The strength in this piece is its subtlety, in the gradients of the shadows and in the sparing placement. Yeah, just great point with that. And we can see that she's just touching sweet little highlights exactly where she needs to. She did a really nice one on the knee, and we can see that she's working on the hip now. But again, got to be so careful not to overdo it. I can literally see someone standing behind her that looks like she's holding, one of the audience members looks like they're holding their breath watching Joanne do this piece.
Yeah. And again, Joanne works without a reference. So the audience, I think they like to see that.
The glow that we're getting around this figure is adding so much to this piece.
Yeah, almost like she's taking back some negative space there to bring the focus, balance the focus a little bit more, and have this person sort of standing out in the clearing. In her previous piece, she had left the center of the canvas untouched in order to achieve that. And on this piece, she's gone the opposite way. She covered the whole piece, and now she's trying to claim some of that light space back.
That's one of the beautiful things about watching Art Battle, is that we get to see the subtle adjustments and differences from piece to piece, from the first round to the final round. Is it super different, or is it just going to be a subtle difference to technique and approach? Yeah, everyone's going at it differently.
Everyone is going at it differently. We have 4 very different pieces here. One is he's working on this face again. As we said, he has got to be careful not to muddy it up. And he is doing a pretty good job. Those eyes are really standing out. I think he did a little extra work on the eyes since we came around here the last time.
Mm-hmm. And that little bit of texture with the blue in the fur on the top of the bull's face is nice as well.
Yeah. What are we getting here?
I am not sure. I feel like maybe No, I don't know. Sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, just some little highlights here. Just sort of completing that space. They don't look out of place.
Yeah, they're creating that balance.
Yeah, they are.
I feel like we're so often expecting in a figurative piece for every element of it to be figurative. Oh, we're getting our countdown here.
Interesting red shading that Joanne added to the black space in her canvas.
Oh, I must have missed that. I'll have to take a look. Looks like we're getting a little canvas tour here now too, which is great. And everyone, please make sure that you vote. The artist from this final round will move on to the Vancouver City Finals.
That's right, the Vancouver City Finals, which will be held in June of this year, and will send one representative from Vancouver to the Canadian National Championships, which will be taking place in July. Of course, we have seen two national champions come out of Vancouver, so it is definitely very well represented. We saw Yard Nagusu win the national championship 3 years in a row, and Dmitry Surenko win the national championship a couple years later. So some really strong competitors that come out of Vancouver. No doubt will be the same this year, and one of these painters will qualify for the finals. So get your votes in there, artbattle.com/vote, and help pick who from this group deserves to have a spot in the Vancouver City Finals.
Such an exciting night. Lots of really, really good work tonight as well. And I would agree with you that I think that the best artists from the qualifying rounds moved on.
Yeah, I think that they did as they usually do. Art Battle, we've had literally thousands of events, and we see the best painters move on continuously. We know that the process works. The audience takes their art very seriously, and the best artists are rewarded. The cream rises to the top, as they say, and there's been no different here tonight. We see the best four artists from the preliminary rounds in the final, and they have created their pieces. So now is the time for us to choose which one of these artists should go through to the final. We have a subtle nude piece with a wine glass balance on it from Joanne. We have a deep forest scene with a figure on its continuing on its journey, perhaps from her first piece through the deep forest. From Madeline Wynne, we have a very sort of menacing animal face from Juan Vega. Looks like it could be a bison, but it is very well painted and is got just so much emotion in it. And we have a surrealist eye from Marie. Has a tree sort of growing within the eye, and sort of telling a little bit of a story there. Maybe a continuation of her narrative from her first piece, which also had a tree growing out of a figure. So
I agree. I do think that that's a continuation.
I think it is probably a continuation. So we see four very different stories here tonight in these paintings, and will be interesting to see which one the audience chooses as the winner. I can't say which way it's going to go. I don't know right now. It's going to be close.
And with that said, great segue to say it's up to you guys. artbattle.com/vote. The votes are coming in, and as always, it is tight. It's a tight vote, so make sure that you get those votes in. Everyone does count.
every vote does count. We see so many of our contests decided by one or two votes, and so it is very important to help us decide. That is the name of the game, of course. The audience chooses the best art, so it's in the eye of the beholder. Which of these painters do you want to see become the champion here tonight? Is it Joanne? Is it Madeline? Is it Juan? Is it Marie? It's going to be one of these four painters. The votes are coming in right now, and it'll be very interesting. Of course, these paintings from the final round are also available in the silent auction, and there is lots of room for bids right now. We don't have too many bids coming in, so if you want to take one of these pieces home, now is definitely the time to get in there and make your bid. We have bids on most of the other pieces here tonight. We had a couple of really great opening painters tonight, entertaining the crowd before the competition started. We had the champion from last month and the runner-up from last month painting here before, and those paintings are up for silent auction too. One of them has a bid of $350. That's quite a striking piece. So we see so many different approaches to art through Art Battle, and so many different ways to continue or start your collection of paintings. So get in there on the silent auction. We will ship it to you, so don't worry about if you're not local to Vancouver. Of course, if you are local to Vancouver, we can arrange for you to pick it up at a convenient location.
I'm just going to quickly check in with the venue and see how close we might be to getting our announcement. I feel like it's coming really soon. Yeah, the audience has had a really tough job tonight of picking who is going to move forward.
Yeah. Some really good paintings, some 4 very different paintings here in the final. So we are seeing the votes coming in right now. We are hearing that there are still a few people left to vote. We are just waiting for those votes to come in before we can call the winner, and hopefully we will be able to get video from the venue for the announcement of the winner.
I'm sure that all of our final round artists are just biting their nails at this point.
Yeah, for sure. This is nervous time. They've already heard their name called once tonight. They've had that super rush of adrenaline, knowing that they were voted to be a winner, and now they're waiting again for the final announcement to hear who's going to come through, and they are just waiting with paint on their hands and probably on their clothes. And,
always.
Always, and just trying to hold it in there. Maybe time for them to get a drink, maybe, or maybe they're waiting until after the final announcement. But either way, it's a nervous time for the 4 of them, and really for all the painters who are still hanging around there tonight to see how the tournament turns out. Of course, they have their favorites. Some of the painters, of course, know each other and are cheering for each other. One thing we see at Art Battle is a lot of great connections are formed between artists. It's really an event that serves to build community and integrate connections in the artistic community between painters from different backgrounds, different styles, different studios. And so that's a great feature of Art Battle. So many connections made at Art Battle. It's almost like a family at this point. Of course, the painters, we've had some that have painted with us for years. We've seen them follow so many of them on social media and see the interactions between them and the support that they have for each other. It's really great. It's a really great facet of Art Battle. And here tonight, I'm sure that they are all waiting to find out who is going to be the winner, as we are. I think we're going to find out pretty soon.
Yes, I think so too. And just to add to your comment about the artists and their Instagrams, if you go to the Art Battle Vancouver Instagram, which I believe is just Art Battle Vancouver, we do share all of our artists' work, and we tag them as well, and we absolutely know that they would love to have your support over on Instagram as well, so don't be afraid to give them a like, give them a follow.
Yeah, check it out there, and you can check out Art Battle. We have Instagram handles for each of our cities, so you can see painters from across the country and around the world at the different Art Battle Instagrams, and also we have a main Instagram account which is just at Art Battle, which features the excitement from the greater tournament. But if you all do want to see these painters tonight, as Morgan mentioned, go to Art Battle Vancouver on Instagram, and you can check out where we've shared work and handles of all the painters who are painting here tonight.
I'm checking out the auction as it's rolling through on the screen, and I have now gotten a chance to see the red that was punched in to that black on Joanne Purdy's piece, and I think that that's why she had done that kind of like heavy application of black at the bottom of the figure. I wasn't sure where that was going, and I think that she intentionally kept a big piece wet so that she could blend the red in there at the very last minute, because she really built that piece with a lot of elements of surprise, I think, with the wine glass, but then the final surprise was the addition of that red. Mm-hmm. So very careful planning.
Yeah. And the addition of that red really does so much for the painting. It really frames the whole canvas as a cleaner, more vibrant composition. So she did a great job there. She waited right till the end, and definitely made a use of that critical last minute to improve a painting that was already looking really good. So some pro moves there from Joanne.
Absolutely. Some really quite the breadth of technique usage throughout the event tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen so many techniques. We've seen airbrushing, spray, water bottles, palette knives, brushes, fingers. We've seen artists blowing on their canvas, trying to influence the dripping of paint. We've seen artists with their canvases off the easel, trying to manipulate paint that way, trying to make it dry a little quicker. It's just so rich in techniques and processes. It's a real treat to get to watch so many at one time.
Yeah, it's almost like an art crash course.
Definitely.
Especially yes, when you're there in person, it's very much you're really immersed in the energy of the event. But I think we get kind of a special treat over here on the stream, in that we get a really close up view. And we get to have a conversation about these techniques, and I think that it's kind of more absorbable in an educational sense from there, in some ways. Yeah,
definitely a lot to learn. We see just so many different approaches that it is. That's one of the thrills of attending Art Battle in person, is just getting to absorb these, feel the energy of these painters creating close up. There's really nothing like it. It's really such a fantastic event. We're happy to have you join us online, but if you can, get to one of our events and see how it feels to be within the energy of that room. It is just something that can't be described. It's just so special, and we look forward to it every time we get to do it. So,
absolutely, and we have the culmination for our U.S. Championship Series happening just this upcoming next Saturday.
1 week from tonight, yeah.
Talking about the energy of artists and watching them create in the room. It's going to be madness, the best kind of madness, next Saturday, as all of the best artists from all across the U.S. converge in Wichita Falls.
Yeah, it is going to be a really monumental night for live art, and we were going to have people tuning in from art battle communities around the world to watch with us as the very best live painters in the United States take the stage in Texas to determine who is going to be the crowned as the national champion of art battle. It's going to be such a great night. We've seen so many amazing regional and city finals, so many just spectacular paintings created, paintings that you wouldn't believe unless you saw them created, which we did. Unless you saw them created, you wouldn't believe that they were done in a short period of time in front of a large audience. But indeed, that is the level that the painters are at. They're creating studio quality pieces in just 20 minutes time, and we are getting to see them. It is such a treat to watch them. And next week in Texas, in Wichita Falls, Texas, we're going to see the best of the best going head to head, and it is going to be one for the ages because we have the very best painters from each city across the country all coming together to compete. So don't miss that. And if you want some midweek art battle action, join us here on artbattle.com on Tuesday night for Art Battle Toronto All-Stars, which is going to be a really fantastic event of some of the best painters from the Toronto Art Battle community coming together for an all-star event. Almost all of them Art Battle champions, definitely all at least finalists, and they're going to be competing for the highly coveted title of Art Battle All-Star Champion. That'll be on Tuesday. So we have a great week of live art coming up, and we hope that you join us. Oh, great. Let's find out who the winner is.
We can see our team over in Vancouver. They are converging around the mic, and we're seeing our MC getting the name from our organizer, Lindsay.
Yeah. Okay, one more time. Are we ready to hear the winner? Yeah, that's it. All right, drum roll, please. And the winner of our Battle Vancouver is Joanne Purdy! Where are you? I see Joanne. She's right there. Come on down. Come on down. You are the winner of Vancouver Art Battle. You are heading the stage to your fellow fans. Yeah, let's hear it up for Joanne. All right, now the auction is going to close in the next 5 minutes, so you might get a text saying you either won or you didn't, but it's looking out there. And the Red Room does have an amazing event happening afterwards, but you can't stay. So you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Vancouver, that was amazing. Let's give it up for Rich Nines again. Woo! Yeah, Banana Cam. Yeah, Lindsay, and my name is Lola. Thank you so much, Vancouver. We'll see you April 23rd.
Okay, so our winner for tonight's Art Battle Vancouver event was Joanne Purdy, who painted an absolutely incredible landscape of a cascading creek or river in her qualifying round, and then moved on to the final to create a beautiful reclining nude with some surprising elements of the wine glass and the addition of the red. Just a beautiful, very subtle rendering. So we cannot wait to continue seeing Joanne paint in the Art Battle Vancouver City Finals. So we will be seeing her painting again in June.
That's right. Congratulations to Joanne. Very well painted tonight. Very well deserved victory. We see Joanne again at the Art Battle Vancouver Finals in June. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to all of our painters tonight for taking the brave step of painting in front of a live audience. We had 10 great painters here and some really excellent performances. Congratulations to the 4 who made it to the final round, and Joanne for coming out on top in the votes. And thanks for joining us here tonight.
Absolutely. What a night for live painting. And we will be back live on Tuesday in Toronto